and welcome to UC Today. My name is Kieran, and today's session is A Journey to the Modern Day Workplace. I am delighted to be joined by Jim McKenna, VP of Strategic Partnerships at Black Box, and Luis Domingos, CTO at Mitel. Jim, Luis, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Before we explore exactly what the modern day workplace looks like, its trends, its challenges, and the kind of solutions you guys can assist these businesses with, can you please tell us a little about yourselves, Luis and Jim, and the work you do with Black Box and Mitel?
Definitely. Hi, my name is Luis Domingos. I'm the CTO of Mitel, and Mitel is a vendor of large enterprise and small medium enterprise solutions for communications and collaborations. And very pleased to be here. So I'm in the business for quite some time, so over 25 years here in the US, and involved with technologies around contact centers, communication collaborations in general.
Great. Thanks, Louise. And I'm Jim McKenna, Vice President for Strategic Partnerships at Black Box. Black Box is a global system integrator, been around about 40 years. And we partner with best-of-class OEMs and partners. And Mitel has been a long-standing partner of ours in the UC collaboration and communication space. Appreciate the partnership, appreciate the opportunity today to talk about technology and how things are changing rather rapidly in our industry.
Absolutely. And Jim, staying with you, what would you say are some of the key trends you are seeing in this very rapid evolution of the modern day workplace?
So I would say first and foremost, the hybrid workplace is here to stay. I think the one thing that we've learned since the pandemic is people went home to work, and as much as maybe companies do want their employees to come back, I believe that there's always going to be some level of a hybrid workplace moving forward. If you look at, before the pandemic, most of the tools that you had in the office, you needed in the office, and when you worked remote, it was almost a disadvantage. What you're finding today is that, a lot of people have better tools and better collaboration when they're working remote than they do in the office itself. So, I think one of the challenges that we kind of find today is how do we modernize the actual offices and the workplace to have the same type of collaborative experience that people have been able to experience over the past 2 to 3 years because of much of the collaboration technologies. Louise, what you think about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as you said it very well. So yeah, hybrid environments, even though there's going to be the dichotomy of people in the office some days, people at home, they'll have to interrelate regularly in this environment where it's a hybrid setup, and the employee experience changes a lot. When I'm in the office talking to my peers face to face, scribbling things on the wall, it's very different than I'm remote interacting with those people, because being remote, I'm losing part of the experience. So a lot of investment, a lot of trends in the area of employee experience. How can we ensure the employee experience is going to be the same if I'm remote, if I'm presential in the office, and how these two worlds interrelate? I think that's one key point of how evolution will occur. I also believe technology will play an important role in how this plays along, how the technologies of collaboration, how the products, how the integrations across these products will occur. Unfortunately, we don't have a homogeneous environment, correct? So large enterprises have all sorts of collaboration and communication tools. So there's a big challenge there for sure that has to be addressed. But in general, I think employee experience is key. How the trend will remain, more investment will go in that area. And I think many vendors, including ourselves, are focused on those areas to find what is the environment of the future? What is the trend in the modern workplace that we want to see with our customers and our users at the end of the day?
And the only thing I'll add there is, customer expectations will continue to grow, right? I mean, so that's not going to change. So just keeping up with the customer experience and customer expectations is going to be critical as well.
Absolutely. And all of these, how dramatically things have changed over the last few years, and the fact we're still in relative terms in the early stages of this evolution of businesses and organizations across the world adjusting to the new reality, and also finding what works for them, what doesn't work for them, what works for their employees. It's a lot of challenges are emerging as a result of this. What kind of challenges are you guys identifying that businesses tend to face during these transitional processes?
Yeah, one of the challenges I see is about technology integration, really finding the proper way to ensure there's navigation across the landscape of applications, tools, and products you have, ensuring that they coexist or there is seamless interoperability between them. As users, we face this every day, correct? So we have to jump from tool to tool, from application, from the telephone to a collaboration session. So how can we achieve that? How can we bring this all together and address the challenges of communication and collaboration? We are in the collaboration and communication business, and we see that's the major challenge in a corporation: how people communicate, how we extract most value, how we bring productivity, efficiency across the organizations with them. The other one I would highlight is about compliance and security. As people are dispersed, so how can we handle security, uh, secrecy of the documents of the company, of the business data? How can we protect that? How can we protect the communication across the individuals? And also how we can ensure we do this, addressing compliance with regulations in some more strict business like finance, or that we ensure data privacy for the employees protected. So there is a challenge, a dimension of challenge around the company and the corporate, how the company is handling the privacy, compliance, and cybersecurity, which for me is a major challenge that's still being tackled. I don't think we have a complete answer for it. And it varies, of course. I know in Europe is way more demanding around some of these policies. In US, a little bit more flex. But in general, that's something to keep an eye on, because if you have a weak link in your chain of tools and infrastructures, you're going to pay a heavy price. And the corporations, the enterprises are very concerned about it nowadays. Your thoughts, Jim, on that?
100% agree. And the other thing I would add is just making sure that the infrastructure that's in place is able to support the newer technology in the office environment. So whether it's the cabling, the fiber optics, the LAN WAN networks, making sure that that is all in place to support this hybrid workplace. Louise and I were talking yesterday that when you work at home, it's not unusual to have a gig connection, right? So your connectivity might be even stronger or faster than some of the networks that you have in an office. So just making sure that you have that type of technology upgraded. Louise also talked about security. I mean, security is a major factor anytime you're going to have remote users. So taking that into effect. And then lastly, what we've learned, I think, over the last 3 years, particularly, is it's not an all or nothing, right? It's kind of really a hybrid type environment because for the longest time, everybody's like, we're going to move to the cloud. We're going to move to the cloud, and I think as Luis said, regardless, well, depending on industry, whether it's healthcare or maybe financial services or government, then they may not want to, or they may not be able to at this time be able to move. So it's making sure that it's more of a hybrid solution, and when it makes sense, as opposed to a one fell swoop. Let's get there.
Yeah, and if you allow me another remark there to the point, correct? So yes, going fully to the cloud might be the solution, but it's very specific conditions. When you talk about complex businesses, they will have so many segments of deployments and solutions and integrations that you cannot simply rip and replace. The rip and replace, in many cases, is not the solution. What we found out is that many customers want to keep some of the more traditional, more legacy solutions they have, create the integration connectors in a hybrid, what we call the hybrid workplace, the hybrid solutions of the future. That's where I think there's a trend for sure. There is also a challenge to ensure that we get this coexistence in place.
Brilliant, and I think you guys have outlined some baselines there for the types of strategies that businesses can get into place. But Jim, I wonder if I could pick your brain. What advice would you give businesses seeking a frictionless transformation into a modern workplace?
So, there's the saying, evolution, not revolution. And I would say that that's key, right? I mean, to evolve your environment and do it where it makes sense. And let me be clear, for some customers, it might be a full migration to a public cloud or a full migration to a private cloud. In other instances, it might be a hybrid solution, or a slow transformation. So, it really depends on a couple things. What are the business needs? What are the business's budgets, right? And where does it make sense? And it's hard to do anything today without some sort of ROI. So where does it make sense, and
Yeah.
and how do you get there? So I would say, again, if anything, the lessons learned over the past 2 or 3 years is it's not a one size fits all. It's really, what are your needs? What are your requirements? What are your budgets? And where can you experience that ROI?
Yeah, and picking on that, fully agree, Jim. And we need to differentiate as well the types of business out there, correct? So many business focused on knowledge workers, but a lot of business also frontline workers, correct? So complete different types of workers and different types of workplaces of the future, modern workplaces that have to evolve to attend the needs of those professionals. I think the companies need to do proper evaluation of the demands of communication, collaboration, and integrations that they need. They need to understand the vertical landscape they're in and what else is required to be able to enable significant collaboration. As an example, hospitals, correct? So hospitals, when the patient is there, so how the patient and the doctors, nurses, and the family can communicate. So e-consultation, correct? So we've been investing in e-consultation solution to address that need. It's very vertical oriented, but very relevant because that's part of the landscape of communication of that part type of business. Also, they need to ensure they address all the requirements in the solution for end-to-end interoperability of the products and components. They need to ensure addressing regulatory compliance, cybersecurity to ensure that they are protected and compliant in general. And last but not least, they need to ensure that communications and collaborations are fully integrated in the business workflows. The workplace of the future is really fully integrated. That's where it's evolving towards. Technology plays an important role, but the simple integration of applications and business workflows are the ones that will bring the efficiencies and the gains and the productivities that we're looking for. Great.
100%. No, I completely agree. And I think that security point is really, really important. And you're seeing it more and more now where businesses are creating almost, you see these solutions that are DPaaS, data protection as a service, all these different solutions that are being introduced to adjust to this new reality. I think it's really, absolutely essential. I wonder if I could pick your brain, Luis, and dive into a bit more closer detail. I'm really curious if you have any suggestions about specific processes or policies businesses can introduce to support themselves in their journey.
Yeah, I think many companies today are asking themselves, so what is the future of my hybrid work model? And not many of them are putting this in paper, correct? So the policies are not 100% clear. After the pandemic, companies are asking employees to do this and that, but they're not putting a vision. Well, what is going to be the future of my workplace? And what is the demand for hybrid working in this company? What is presential? What can be done remotely? How we have the processes and the governance of the company, how we manage this dichotomy. I think many vendors, many companies, many users are debating that. And I think the company should be very clear. Based on the business objectives of my company, what is the policy that better fits? And I think that's one point, correct? So ensure that there is a work policy on how the employees are going and coming to the office. When we talk about the technologies that we see in the workplace, finding the ways where this technology can be properly trained and onboarded to the employees, because many employees lack that. And onboarding of new employees in this environment of remote working is way more complicated because there's nobody here to give me the instructions where do I find the right tools and where do I click to use. And also, there's an important change around the business culture. And I think people don't pay much attention to that, but the company culture changes. And we need to ensure that your culture remains alive, irrespective of how the employees are working or how they are collocated, how they are located, and the business culture, and that affects how you do interactions with the employees. I imagine being a first line manager in this day and age with a distributed workforce. So I've been there before, right? We've been there, and it's much harder. We need to change how we do that, correct? So, and I don't think companies are investing yet enough in the policies and governance and internal regulations, how that works. I think more has to be done, and I believe companies are thinking about it. More will come for sure in the future.
And the only thing I would add, Luis, to that is, as a system integrator, like Black Box, the ability for an organization, whether it's us or another organization, to help on that journey for the end users of where do they want to go to, or, in the future, and how best to get there, and understanding, the different type of users that they have, as indicated. There's in every organization, there's power users that are going to need certain tools, and then there's people who might not need as much. So understanding the profiles of those individuals, understanding the functionality and the features and the benefits that they would get from these tools, and then mapping it out. And I do think by having a strong system integrator who's able to provide that level of service and support and guidance and direction is invaluable, because let's be honest, there's a lot of lessons learned, right, from previous projects, and there's a lot of benefits to kind of having that consultative approach of how do you want to get to the end of the journey.
Absolutely. And I think one of the key facilitators for this transformation was the big buzzword of 2023, which is, of course, AI. And with AI, I think it's a fascinating stage of its journey before we move into workplace journeys, because 2023, it was still, for much of the year, it was still almost this very vague, abstract, where use cases, tangible use cases, were only alluded to. For the layperson, there was ChatGPT. There was there's some vendors like yourselves have gradually integrated AI capabilities into platforms and into solutions. But it feels like 2024 is going to be this explosive year where you see tangible use cases AI across everything, not just the UC and collaboration industry, but the world and in general public and everywhere, essentially. But focusing in again before we go to a wider cultural issue, what role, Jim, do you see AI playing in these journeys for businesses?
Well, I'll kick it off, but I'll turn it over to Luis, because he's the CTO of a large collaboration global organization, so he probably has a better opinion of this than maybe myself. But I will say this, as you indicated, I mean, it is the hottest topic out there, and whether it's been driven by ChatGPT or just everything that is AI oriented now. And what I really believe is this is the infancy. This is the very beginning of what's possible. And it's like asking, if you go back into the late 90s and you maybe ask somebody, what does the internet mean, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, you would never envision what that would mean 25 years later, and how it's really changed not only the way people do business, but the way people, communicate. And so, I mean, it's exciting. It's a little bit scary, but you can't have a conversation, especially around collaboration or CX, without talking about AI and what it's going to mean. So I'll turn it over to probably somebody more knowledgeable and experienced, and listen to Luis, because I'm sure he has a pretty fascinating view on this as well. But it is an exciting time, and it's definitely going to be very top of mind in every conversation we have moving forward.
Yeah, and Jim, you're fully right. So it's such a potential to be explored, yeah, and really at the beginning. And it's here to stay. I think the difference, go back 2, 3 years, correct? Everybody was talking about what? The metaverse, yeah? And here we are, the metaverse cooled down a little bit, so we still talk about augmented reality, immersive experiences, but not as much with the metaverse per se. But AI is different. AI will really transform, and we all know And also AI is not new, correct? I think the world learned about AI with ChatGPT last year, about a year ago. But AI is here for longer, correct? So we've been investing in AI in our products. If we look at contact centers, correct? So very typical market arena where a lot of technology has been brought in. Talking about ChatGPT, not ChatGPT, sorry, talking about Google. We invest in technologies from Google for AICC. We brought sentiment analysis. We brought a lot of integrations around that. So it's not that we haven't done anything yet. So a lot has been done prior to advent of ChatGPT. Let's put that away. And also, if you think about pattern recognition, natural language processing. Yeah, if you think about everything we do around conversations, communications, collaboration sessions, translation, transcription, simultaneous translation transcription, which is very modern, a lot has been done there. And now we're thinking about how we can extract more value. Yeah. And I think the beauty of ChatGPT is really looking at the conversation discussions, looking at all the messages, look at the knowledge base of your company. How can you extract the value? If you think about knowledge bases, correct? So how can I be more efficient in handling the needs of my employees and the needs of my customer? Can I take the whole knowledge base of my company, learn or basically train the AI to understand my business and utilize it? So very simple and extremely efficient. Companies will do very well and will be able to do much more efficiently work, for example, in customer support. I'm pretty sure. Think about virtual agents, correct? So virtual agents to handle the processing of customer needs and demands and requests. So that can be done very much more efficiently and many times without a human intervention. I think for the companies will be also a way to improve productivity. And if we look at how this will evolve, yeah, many companies are looking at collaboration tools, communication tools, how we use AI in the sense of handling media, how we process media, how we translate information from media, how we acquire information from communication sessions. So there's going to be a lot's been done, a lot will be done. So we invested a lot. And our vision is that ChatGPT and other AI technologies will be critical. And we're putting a lot of focus on our communication products, in our contact center solutions, and our vertical applications. I just talked about the case of healthcare, correct? So in healthcare, we can have a communication, basically a conferencing with the doctor, with the patient, and the family, or something like that. And in that scenario, you could bring some additional integrations using AI, using IoT, and some other technologies to take more information from a patient, either in the hospital bed or at home. So that can be incorporated in communication. So communication in the future is not only about voice and video, it's really talking about much more, and AI has a paramount presence in it, I'm pretty sure.
And just an example that you're already seeing today is, in a collaboration session like this, even or a meeting, no sooner is the conversation over, and all of a sudden you get the meeting minutes of the notes, right? And it's not, one person as the scribe and writing them down. It's literally, instantaneous of here's the meeting that took place, and here's the action items, and I mean, and that's day one, right, of where we're at today. So you can only imagine where it's going to go from here.
And what I'm missing here, Kieran, is the captions and the translations of what we're doing here. So we need that already in the next evolution of this platform that we've been using.
I'll be sure to send them a note. Thanks, Luis.
We know a couple of good partners that could help.
One final question before I let you guys go. What does Black Box and Mitel have in store for 2024? Let's begin with you, Luis.
Oh yes, we as I mentioned previously. So I come from Unify, which recently got acquired by Mitel, correct? And both Unify and Mitel are partners with Black Box. So we are vendors providing solutions to Black Box. So very proud of being now providing both to the same channel. And there's a lot of that we are planning to do together, correct, into bringing these two technology pipelines together. And also because there's a lot of great opportunities in the business out there with our communication platforms, with our contact centers, with our hybrid solutions, with our hybrid workplace solutions and integrations, and in some vertical markets where Black Box is extremely active. So that's high level how we are planning to work together. And Jim for sure has more details specifically where Black Box wants to drive it.
Sure, definitely. And I mean, for 2024, it's all about, taking care of the customer. It's about, growth. It's about bringing value to the clients. And I think one of the best ways to do that, right, is to, certainly partner with best of class providers like Mitel. And as Louise mentioned, I mean, Unify, which was acquired by Mitel, was also a partner of Black Box. So for us, it's kind of 1 + 1 = 3, right? Because we're able to not only partner with Mitel, but partner with our Unify customers to provide these types of collaborative solutions. So as a global system integrator, the other I'll say value that I think these two organizations share, both Mitel and Black Box, is the ability to deliver these solutions on a global basis as well. So, we can do it at a regional, we can do it at a national, we can do it at a global level. So, our ability to go out and help customers, no matter how small or big they are, no matter how simple or complex their environments are, to be able to, offer solutions with best of class technology, and I'll say a best of class service provider is exciting for 2024 and beyond.
Terrific. Well, it's an exciting time to be a customer for Unify, Mitel, and Blackbox. I think that's all we've got time for today, but I've really enjoyed today's session. It's been really insightful. So thank you, Jim and Louise, for being here.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.
And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share on social media, and we'll see you next time. I've been Kieran Devlin of UC Today. Thanks for watching.